You stare at the card in your hand. For a moment, it does not feel real. The wrappers are still on the table. The room is still around you. But everything feels quiet now. It is like the world has stepped back just to let this moment breathe. Your fingers are holding something your mind cannot fully accept yet. You do not yell. You do not jump. You barely move. You just stare, because your brain is still trying to understand how something that only existed in collector posts, opening videos, and impossible dreams is suddenly here, resting in your hands. And somehow it does not even feel like a card. It feels like a piece of your childhood became real. Because long before this was a grail, before it was a chase card, before it became a collector's dream, One Piece was already part of your life. You grew up with it. It was there when stories felt bigger, when adventure felt endless, when friendship felt unbreakable, when dreams still felt worth chasing, simply because they were yours. One Piece was never just something you watched to pass time. It stayed with you. It became part of how you understood courage, loyalty, freedom, and hope. And at the center of that world was Luffy. Luffy was never just another anime character to you. He laughed in chaos. He kept moving when things hurt. He refused to let go of people, promises, or dreams. He made impossible goals feel crazy, but still worth chasing. There was something honest about him, something fearless, something simple. Watching him did not make life easier, but it made you believe that even the wildest dream deserved your full heart. That is why he stayed with you, even when so many other characters faded into memory. And that is why this moment feels personal before it feels exciting. Your love for One Piece slowly turned into collecting. At first, it was simple. You loved the art, the design, the feeling of opening something connected to a world you already cared about. Then it became deeper. You started learning the sets. You watched pack openings. You saved pictures of your favorite cards. You started to understand the difference between a nice pull and a legendary one. Some cards felt possible one day. Others felt completely untouchable. The kind of cards you admired through a screen, knowing they belonged in someone else's story. And among all of them, one card always stood above the rest: the Monkey D. Luffy Manga. It wasn't just rare, it was the card, the pull collectors dreamed about, the one people chased through boxes, cases, and months of hope, the one most fans only saw online, held by someone else, sleeved under someone else's light, attached to someone else's unbelievable moment. It felt less like a card and more like a legend. So when you sit down to open this pack, you are not expecting history. You're just opening cards, like always. The motion feels familiar. The wrapper tears. The stack settles into your hand. Your expectations stay low, because collecting teaches you how to hope without expecting miracles. This feels routine, calm, normal. Until it doesn't. Something catches your attention. At first, it's too small to explain. Maybe the shine looks different. Maybe the layout feels unusual. Maybe the art catches the light in a way that instantly makes your hand slow down. Whatever it is, your body notices before your mind does. Your fingers become more careful. Your heartbeat changes. And somewhere inside you, a quiet thought begins to rise. This is not normal. Now the room feels even quieter. The wrapper noise is gone. The air feels heavy. You look closer, and all at once the details sharpen. What seemed impossible a second ago begins forming in pieces. The design, the panels, the name, Monkey D. Luffy. And the truth does not hit you in one clean wave. It lands in fragments. First confusion, then recognition, then disbelief so strong it almost feels like fear. This is not just a hit. This is not just a rare card. This is the Monkey D. Luffy Manga. And you freeze. No loud scream, no instant celebration, no dramatic reaction. Just silence. Your eyes stay locked on the card like looking away might somehow undo it. Your hands feel strangely careful, almost reverent. Your chest tightens, not because of the price or the rarity, but because the moment means more than your brain can organize fast enough. Because this is not only about value, it is about everything attached to it. Years of loving One Piece, years of admiring Luffy, years of seeing Grail cards online and quietly accepting that moments like this happen to other people. Years of never saying it out loud, but knowing deep down that if there was one card that would mean more than any other, it would be this one. That is why this moment hits so hard. It feels like your childhood and your present have collided in a single second at a table covered in open packs. The kid who loved adventure, the fan who admired Luffy, the collector who learned the chase. They all meet here, not in a loud celebration, but in stunned silence. And after this, your collection is no longer the same. Every collector has a centerpiece, a card that changes the feeling of everything around it, a card that makes the rest of the collection feel different just by existing inside it. This becomes that card for you, not just because it's rare, not just because it's beautiful, not just because it's valuable. It becomes that card because it means something no market price can fully explain. When you look at it, you do not only see a grail, you see years. You see memories. You see the version of yourself who grew up watching a boy in a straw hat run toward impossible dreams without hesitation. You see every reason One Piece stayed with you. You see why Luffy mattered. And somehow, against all odds, you see proof that impossible things do not always stay far away. You grew up watching Luffy chase dreams the world said were too big, too foolish, too far away. Now, somehow, you're holding one of your own. And in that quiet, shaking moment, with your heart still trying to catch up to your hands, you realize this is bigger than collecting, bigger than luck, bigger than a pull. It feels like a childhood dream became real in your hands.